Om Bhurбhuvassuvaham Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayantam.
So, namaste everyone. We continue our discussion on autobiography of a yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, a wonderful book which is really important for the Kriya Yoga tradition and of course beyond Kriya Yoga tradition, absolutely. Well, we discussing chapter number 33, and then the name of this chapter is Babaji, the Yogi Christ of Modern India, and it's like my third or fourth video on this chapter. So the next page we are speaking about mysterious and a great Babaji. Well, on a certain page, Yogananda mentioning great disciples of Babaji, and that's very interesting. Well, among them we can see the name of Adi Shankaracharya, one of the most important philosophers, mystics, and the reformers of wonderful Hindu religion. Actually, the Hindu religion which we have right now is a direct result of Adi Shankaracharya reformation, if we can say, but do not mix word reformation with the Protestant reformation, because in a sense, like, the European Reformation, which was a Christian one, was like, certain group of Christians against Vedic corruption. But of course, Reformation by Adi Shankaracharya was not actually against, but just, it was a restructure and certain philosophical clarification. And actually, exactly, Adi Shankar was the one who, took all that mountains of Vedic scriptures, and he told that the most important are three: Bhagavad Gita, then Brahma Sutra, and then 8 Upanishads. And even now, all branches of Hindu religion, they basically agree with this. So it means the essence of Hindu religion is Bhagavad Gita, 8 major Upanishads, and Brahma Sutra. Well, of course, it doesn't mean that, for example, Srimad Bhagavatam, or generally speaking Mahabharata, or for example Ramayana, all that scriptures are not so important. They are very important, and actually I like Bhagavatam very much, and so we have a huge number of scriptures in the Hindu philosophy. But exactly, Adi Shankar here just brought certain structure into that. And according to Yogananda, Adi Shankar was direct disciple of Mahavatara Babaji. That's absolutely agree with message which I got from my Guru Yogi Ramaiah, who was born in 1923 and passed away 2006. My Guru Yogi Ramaiah was a direct disciple of Mahavatara Babaji. Yeah, and that's really so, and that's very important message about Adi Shankar. Then Kabir, a medieval saint, mystic. He was also, according to Yogananda, direct disciple, Kabir Das. And also let me add that Buddha Shakyamuni and Jesus Christ both were actually also direct disciples of Mahavatara Babaji. And then we can just imagine how important Babaji was and is. And then Yogananda tells us that something like in the second half of 19th century, humanity came to such a point when we as the culture, we as a civilization became ready to embrace this ancient knowledge of Kriya Yoga meditation. And that's the reason why one more direct disciple of Babaji, whose name was Lahiri Baba. So actually he brought the message of Kriya Yoga meditation system to the people. And the first step was just to the Indians, and then Yogananda himself, of course, he immigrated to the United States back in 1920, and he spent 32 years in the United States. That the meaning of that was, of course, to bring the knowledge and techniques to the global audience. And well, that's very interesting. Yogananda tells us that Babaji works in a humble way, that's reason why we know some of his disciples, including Buddha, Jesus, and Adi Shankara, and some number of other disciples, but only in the middle of 20th century we came to know, with the help of this book, actually, exactly about Babaji himself. And very interesting word which Yogananda attached to the Babaji is the creator. Yeah, it is here. Like the creator, that's Yogananda's words, the soul, but silent power from the capital letter. So it means it's very interesting that Babaji is actually not just a saint. It's very important. He is the power and he is the creator. Actually, the top level, the greatest incarnation, divine incarnation of Lord God himself. And in a very, very subtle way, Yogananda is really bringing this idea to the readers, and he is describing Mahavatara Babaji as Mahavatar, which is the greatest divine incarnation. And that was very easy, by the way, to understand for the Western disciples, because we have to remember that this book was written for the Westerners, and with Christian and Jewish backgrounds, and that was middle of 20th century, and it was not easy job for the Yogananda to explain to them Western disciples about Babaji. I mean, that's the reason why sometimes Yogananda was humbling, putting down slightly Babaji and describing him as the prophet. But sometimes the clear message is about the highest divine incarnation of Babaji. And that's very interesting that then we can read on the next page. So Yogananda tells us, I give in these pages on Babaji merely a hint on his life, only a few facts which he, Babaji, deems it fit and helpful to the public curiosity. And actually, that's very interesting that the information which we have about Babaji in this book is actually what Babaji led Yogananda to tell us. Well. Actually, Yogananda himself was a very close disciple of Mahavatara Babaji, and because Yogananda was pretty humble person, he mentioned in this book only one basically meeting with the Mahavatara Babaji, but some again tips we have in this book about actually a number of meetings. And Yogananda was direct disciple, very close, very important disciple of Mahavatara Babaji with a special mission, that's for sure. And of course Sri Yukteswar, who was one of Yogananda's guru, and actually Sri Yukteswar was the one who initiated Yogananda into Swami order, or we can say monkhood. But anyway, so Yogananda gives us some very important information, because Babaji gave his permission. So it means Yogananda actually knew about Mahavatara Babaji much more than than we have here on these pages, but anyway, okay, one more information, okay, about Babaji, which we have here on the pages of this book, and the chapter number 33, that actually Yogananda refused to give any details about family or birthplace of the Babaji, and we know actually why, because Mahavatara Babaji was born actually, it's through the light. He appeared from the light on the holy Mount Kailash, so actually we can speak about birthplace, that's okay, Kailash Mount, but family, well, no family, because it's just manifestation and not normal, classical, usual childbirth. And so it's we have actually a number of examples when highly advanced gurus, they come on this plan of existence not through the normal childbirth but through the light. And one such example is Padmasambhava, very important master of the Buddhist tantric tradition. So that's basically the same. And for example, Sri Aurobindo, he also promised that the next time he will come on this planet also not as the child who was born for certain parents, but Sri Aurobindo told that he going to come back, I don't know when actually, but through the light. So we have examples. Okay, some more sweet details about Babaji, and one of them that he speaks actually all languages, and of course, Hindi, which is main language for the North Indian area, but actually he speaks in all languages. That's the natural, supernatural ability for such a masters, because for example, Sathya Sai Baba was able to speak all languages, so that's the level of consciousness. And then very interesting information about names of the Babaji, and Yogananda gives us a few examples. Okay, let me repeat, Babaji is not the name, it's the meaning of Babaji means Holy Father. It's not name, Holy Father, that's all. And any male yoga practitioners, we can call him Babaji. Even you don't need to be enlightened, you don't need to be a Mahatma. If you practice meditation or any kind of yoga, people may call you Babaji. So it's here in India, Babaji basically just Holy Father. It's very humble name. Okay, and normally we call Babaji as Mahavatara Babaji, because Mahavatara is the greatest divine incarnation. And okay, but here on the pages of this book we have some more names like Mahamuni Babaji. Mahamuni means great sage. Babaji Maharaj, the name is Supreme Ecstatic Saint, but okay, better translation, the king of the cobras, which is the king of Kundalini, of course. Then one more name, Mahayogi Babaji, and that's greatest of yogis. Then Trambak Babaji and Shiva Babaji. Okay, Shiva Babaji means that he is Lord Shiva actually, and Trambak, it's also Shiva's name. And we have also Kriya Babaji. This name is not mentioned here, but okay, actually we have number of names apart from that. So it means that certain confusion may come also because of many different names which we attribute to the immortal Babaji. So okay, let us complete this video for today, and of course I'm planning to continue this very interesting topic Mahavatara Babaji, and especially then the discussion based on the autobiography of a yogi. God bless you. See you next time.
Om Bhurбhuvassuvam Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayantam